G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. This is season 32 of Alliance War. Yeah, it's the 5th war of the season and we're up against M.O.D.O.K, I think. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but I think they've placed Masters last season and they've banned Quake, which is very common this season. Also Corvus, which isn't great for us. And Sorcerer Supreme. It was an interesting ban, but I don't mind it. I can understand why people like Alliance are starting to ban Sorcerer Supreme because she is very strong against champions with unstoppable armor with her access to slow. But we're going to be rolling with Magneto, Killmonger for the first time, and also Mole-Man. We have 6 fights today. Well, actually, we have 7. But we were assigned 6 fights, and we're starting here off on path 3. We've got a couple of pretty chill fights to warm up to this war. First one here is a Heimdall. I think he's the only unstoppable armor fight we have today. Actually, no, that's not true. We have 2. This is the first one. But yeah, we're going to be using Magneto because Heimdall is metal, so we don't really have anything to worry about here, apart from a small chance to activate the global. We'll have to be prepared when that timer refreshes. I thought I could heavy counter his heavy there, but I think I was just a bit too far away. We get a couple nice heavies in there. Probably should have backed off there in case he did go unstoppable, but luckily for us he did. I think I'm a bit more careful with that later on. Here I tried to... Oh no, maybe it was another one. But yeah, it is quite easy to punish his special one with Magneto's heavy attack. Had to have the right spacing. And we were able to get it pretty comfortably a few times there. Up to 27 per hours now. It does go unstoppable here, so we just back off, let that wear off. Nothing difficult there. And he does have a chance to shock us if he has armor up buffs, but that's great for us because Magneto is 90% shock resistant, so we will deal all that damage back and then some. It's just a free healing debuff for us. But yeah, 1 special 2 finishes off. We were running suicides at this point, so we did take a bit of chip damage because we were boosted. And the boosts. Suicides only affect your. Suicides affect the boosted health, but willpower only affects your base health, so you actually take a lot more damage than you normally would unboosted. Well, not a lot more, but noticeably more. But we've got this Thor here now. Again, this is a really simple fight for Magneto since he's metal. Also, no unstoppable armor this time. And he does have power focus too, but that's really not an issue for us at all. His special 2 is very easy to avoid, especially because he won't need to throw many of them before. So I was a bit too close to when I was trying to punish that special one. I should have done 1 more dash back and then thrown the heavy, but yeah, we did throw the heavy while being unstoppable, of course, so we barely took any damage at all from that special. And here we get the good timing there. We just dash back 1 more time, get the nice heavy counter in, and again here. Magneto's heavy does have quite good reach, and then 1 special 2, just shy of 100k damage, finishes him off. So yeah, a couple of nice warm-up fights, and we did need a warm-up because we're straight onto a node 26 squid. So this is one of the toughest nodes in the entire map. We've got window of opportunity stun, also blood in the water, so he gets more attack when we have defense, when we have debuff, defective defense, which is get disoriented when we block. Really a nasty combination. Now Mole-Man is a really good counter here because he can shrug debuffs quite quickly, but we will take a bit of damage before that happens initially because he doesn't shrug them off instantly, and we do take a bit of damage from its ability to do damage for every debuff we have. But really I want to spend this whole fight without activating Frenzy. I don't want to activate Frenzy at all, so we don't want to take any hits into block while we have more than 5 monster mass, because that's going to activate our Frenzy. It means we won't be able to purify any more debuffs, and that's not what we wanted to happen at all. But we've got a nice couple of special 1 punishes here. We go straight for a special 2, and we actually got very lucky. Even though we weren't in Frenzy, we pretty much crit on every single hit. We got 6 bleeds on him, and those bleeds with deep wounds pretty much finish him off. 1 more combo and he's down. So very, very clean fight. I was really happy with how Mole-Man performed there. But here we're going to be taking off suicides. because I did speed this up as well because it does take a minute or two to put the points back in, because we had 3 more assigned fights, 2 for Killmonger and 1 for Magneto. And Magneto, you know, it doesn't matter if you're using suicides or not. It doesn't really matter too much against metal fights. Can do pretty much any fight he needs without suicides just fine. But Killmonger, we definitely don't want suicides on for. Yeah, can we use more specials, and he has no way to shrug debuffs or heal. Any synergies. So we've got this M.O.D.O.K here. We're on path 7 now. Still got our boosts from previous fights since we did take all these fights in one go. And yeah, so despite M.O.D.O.K, we are going to pop an invulnerability boost just in case he does turtle up and special 3, or we get to our special 2. I want to throw the special 2 off to get our indestructible charges. But actually, the main reason I popped the invulnerability boost is actually for the next fight, not this fight. But I just thought we might as well use it for both of these fights since I know this is going to take less than 3 minutes. So we get a nice special 1 punish that activates our True Strike. I did practice a bit before this to make sure I could get the True Strike every time M.O.D.O.K throws his special 1, which we were able to do. And we can play very aggressively here now. We can pretty much keep Spite inactive most of the fight by just not having the decks, do a lot of intercepts, a lot of parries if we need openings. And you know, with that True Strike it really helps because he's not going to be auto blocking at all, except initially. But yeah, this is going perfectly well. We've barely taken any damage at all. The only damage we've taken is from his special 1 reversing our healing from the Salve Master. So that's another reason why we turned suicides off, because that would have M.O.D.O.K special 1 would have reversed the healing that we would have had from the suicide debuffs. So that would have made that fight even more costly potion wise. But then this was probably the most sketchy fight of our war today. So it's a Spider Ham. He barely has any health, even as a rank 3. Only has 130,000 health. But he also has active evolution and kinetic transference. So every time he hits into our block, he's going to get about 7.5% of his power meter. And every time he breaches the bar of power, he's going to increase his stats by about 5% each time. So I wanted to get an intercept here right off the bat. I didn't want to, you know, have him hit into our block. He did eventually. I didn't mean for that to happen, but he did. So use that as our opening. Push into a special 1. Really want to just get this out of the way as soon as possible. Punish that special 1 for the True Strike, which we do. And we also have the taunt debuff on us for us, which sucks because it also makes this fight longer because it reduces our attack by like 40%, I think. 70%. It's one of those two. And he was playing really, really passively here. He wasn't throwing that special 1 again. We lose our True Strike. I strategically blocked the first hit of that special 1 to activate our reverb so we can get the True Strike and reverb damage boost from our Sig ability. But with the taunt, that special really did any damage. We also got very unlucky by not critting at all. So yeah, this is really a problem right now. I'm kind of almost panicking. We do still have the invulnerability boost, of course. So I'm prepared to tank a special 3, but also he just wasn't throwing a special 1. He's pushing us back a lot towards our wall. And in hindsight, Mole Man is much better for this fight, and even that M.O.D.O.K fight as well. So in the future, we're definitely going to be using a Mole Man here instead of Killmonger for a couple reasons. One, his damage is better. He has better access to True Strike, and also he can strike those taunt debuffs because those are reducing our attack by a lot. And here he's just not throwing the special. He's pushing us right back into the corner. I decided to retaliate. I push him to a special 3, while also throwing our special 3. Get as much damage in as we can. Get him down to 21%. We do have the reverb and True Strike damage boost from our Sig ability. Even though Killmonger is low Sig, it does help damage boost. It gets him down to 10%, and he does throw a special 3 straight away. Fine, because we do have that invulnerability boost on still. We haven't taken any hits from him yet, so we still got all 3 hits of that use, and so that uses 1 hit there. And he does place 4 power stings on us, the Porker Poppers, but we're able to finish him off here in a couple hits, and he goes down. So very sketchy fight. Mole Man definitely a better option there, but Killmonger did work there. So this was the fight that I wasn't assigned. This is the shared fight on the right hand side. They put a Mojo here. My Lance Mate Fell was assigned this, but unfortunately. gave up a death here, which meant we had to clean up here with Magneto. Now Magneto is not a great counter here at all. Even though Mojo is metal and we can, take him down relatively quickly, there's also kinetic transference, and there's a lot of parrying you have to do with Mojo. And not only does he gain 10% power when he hits a block, if the block does no damage, it's actually doubled. Now we do have 2 Mr. Fantastic refights from Fell, our alliance mate, Oppression and the Petrify, which helps. And the other good thing is that Magneto's ability accuracy reduction actually prevents kinetic transference from triggering most of the time. However, when it does trigger, it's not good. Like you see that one block hit got him from just above 1 bar of power to almost 2 bars of power. And he does activate his anti-life field here. We do have a buff on us, so that means we're gonna have to, take some bit of degen damage for the heavy there to refresh those Mr. Fantastic pre-fights. We are taking 600 passive damage per tick, which sucks. But we are able to get to a special 3. I did activate a Power Star 1 boost because I wanted to get to a special 3 as soon as possible. Even though he only had 90,000 health, he can still, this fight can still go very wrong very quickly. You don't know what you're doing. But luckily those bleeds do finish him off there, and we scraped fire without a death. And then we got one more Magneto fight for the war. This is on the boss island, the Node 48 fight. So just like the other metal fights we had before, Heimdall and Thor, this guy is going to be really easy for Magneto. He does have his specials are going to cost much power wise, so we are going to have to bait out a lot of special 1 before we get to our special 3. Well, not a lot, but more than normal. And he also is unstoppable armor, but so we do have to watch out for that every 10 seconds. And I did throw a light attack into him at the start because that activates his armor up, his natural armor up buff, in case that triggered unstoppable armor, but it didn't. And I could have probably pushed to special 2 as well. I can dodge most of that, but I probably would have blocked the last bit of it because I'm not completely like 100% at blocking, protecting all of it yet. So he activates the unstoppable armor there, but doesn't go unstoppable. It just activates the armor up. And we're almost at special 3, right at special 3 now. Only 13 per hour, so we want to charge a couple more heavies. Get as many per hours as we can, really, just to make sure this guy is off for good. And we're able to charge to 39 there. I think that's what we decide to go with. And this is lights out for CGR. Yeah, 2 out of the 3. It's good enough to finish him off. So that was our war today. 6 fights turned into... I woke up this morning and I saw that we actually won the war. So late last night when I was taking those final fights, we were actually behind on deaths. I think they hadn't taken many fights, but they'd only died like twice from their first 60 fights, and we'd died about 9 times, 10 times even from our first 110 fights. So we were definitely on the back foot, but luckily we were able to clutch up and secure the win, winning by 4 kills, which is, a win's a win. And 12 deaths is not terrible for tier 1. It's not great, but yeah, it's definitely something we can improve on. We learned our lesson with those Killmonger fights. We're definitely going to use Mole Man there in the future, and that frees up a spot for me to bring someone else instead of Killmonger. And while Killmonger works, Mole Man is definitely better for those fights. But yeah, we'll take it. A win's a win, especially in tier 1. Wins are really great, and it gets us up to rank 13 in Platinum 1. So we're up 6 spots, I think, from the last war, which is great. Pushing. It's great to get that first win back in tier 1. Helps boost morale, boost confidence, and keep going, keep performing at this level, and hopefully we get a few more wins on the board, and we can get even closer, if not actually make masters this season. So, looking forward to it. I hope you enjoyed the war, guys. I had a lot of fun fights, especially that void fight. I thought was really enjoyable. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next war. Yeah.